So whenever I think of Ghost of Tsushima, one thing always comes to mind: its very unique approach to the open world. As we've seen from the previous gameplay footage, movement is going to be a huge part of the world of Ghost of Tsushima, so much so in fact that everything moves in this game, from the leaves, the grass and the rest of the vegetation, all the way up to the very clothes that you'll be wearing. And the wind isn't just going to be another weather variable like in most games out there, but rather an effect with a very meaningful gameplay role, which is of course calling that guided wind to bring you to your next destination with just a press of a button. But we now know that it will also physically affect all of the objects as well as the vegetation all around you. Anyway, welcome back everybody to another Ghost of Tsushima video. We are currently exactly 1 week away from the release of this amazing game, and today, as always, I have some more news and new footage to share with you guys, so I'm really excited about this one. Let's jump right into it, and as always, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you want to see more awesome content like this. Anyway, we have this really awesome article from the PlayStation blog, of course, going over the details and the amount of work that Sucker Punch has put into the Ghost of Tsushima and of course its world, to the point that they actually traveled to the real world Tsushima Island, where they basically recorded everything: the birds, the nature sounds, all the way up to photo scanning all of the leaves that of course make a huge impact on the overall visuals, and the results speak for themselves. Of course, you're seeing many of these in the game, but they have also taken a lot of inspiration from the mainland Japan and implemented many zones that you're going to be able to explore and uncover. All in all, the map will be divided between 3 major regions with more than 40 diverse biomes and hundreds of points of interest just waiting for you to discover them. So you will journey through lush forests, cross boggy swamplands, and enter into frozen mountain landscapes. One really awesome example is this brand new town that we haven't seen up until now, called the town of Akashima, basically located in the lowland wetlands. You will see moss hanging and growing on every surface, mist lingering above the ground, and incense burning near the Great Bell. You might even hear frogs croaking around you, as it's a very mysterious and beautiful location to be in. We haven't seen too much of this, but at night and with the full moon on the background, it looks absolutely stunning. The overall visuals and the lighting in this game is just so amazing. I cannot wait to share all of the details with you guys once the game comes out. But Sucker Punch drew in a ton of inspiration, not just from the real world, but also from movies, games, paintings, and even travel posters to make it the way it is. And there's basically 2 pillars on which the world of Ghost of Tsushima is built upon. These are natural beauty and man-made order. I've already talked about this new town of Akashima, but while exploring the world, you may follow a string of torii gates to a forgotten shrine, assault a fortified castle, or find an abandoned fishing hut near the water. And there's going to be hundreds of locations in Tsushima to explore and hidden rewards to find. We already know from previous interviews that exploration is going to be very rewarding in this game, and you're going to definitely want to take a hike and go off the beaten path, explore all of those really amazing environments, and maybe get some really awesome stuff out of it, like some brand new equipment that is going to be very useful in combat and whatnot. Now, by far my favorite shot or maybe video that I've seen in this article has to be this one right here. It basically shows us how Sucker Punch came up with the world, how basic it was in the beginning, and how they slowly added upon it and then came up with the idea of making everything reacting to movement and basically basing the entirety of the exploration on movement. So during the years it took us to build our version of Tsushima, we faced a lot of challenges. The biggest one was scope. As the largest game we have ever made, can you imagine if we needed to place every single blade of grass by hand? What if we then needed to change the type or density of the grass later? We would not be able to finish, so we made procedural tools that would allow us to build a massive world unbelievably fast and would still be really flexible if we changed our minds later on. These tools allowed us to be more creative and expressive in our artistic choices. Here are some examples of our tools in action, and it's quite impressive to see how the foliage is growing up in this forest, but what's more impressive is how they basically generate all of these flowers. Like in this second shot, we can see that they basically drew the logo of Ghost of Tsushima, and they just basically drew a circle and a couple of lines, and behold, the circle and overall logo just appears over there from the grass. It looks really impressive, but not nearly as impressive as the field with millions of of blades of grass all loaded together, with seemingly no performance impact or very minimal performance impact even on a PlayStation 4. Now remember how in the beginning of the video I said that the guiding wind, as in that mechanic that you're using to guide yourself through your next destination, maybe you set up a waypoint on your map and you're using that guiding wind to actually bring you to that destination. Well, that isn't just like a visual effect on the screen, it actually has an impact and it affects things around you. So at any point players can summon a gust of wind to help guide them to their destination. As the wind blows, players will notice everything react around them. This includes the foliage, the clothing, even particles, helping point them in the right direction. And that's not the only role that the wind is playing. Imagine a classic samurai movie scene, two samurai warriors standing in a grass field, raising their swords and staring at each other, both perfectly still, holding their breath, waiting for the next move. Behind the stillness is a world of motion. Grass is waving, leaves are flying through the air, cloth is blowing in the wind, and rain is coming down from the sky, tapping every surface. As tension increases, we want our world to reinforce that feeling, static versus movement, and lead you to have that true cinematic moment. But Tsushima is rich, both in density as well as variety, and it's also constantly changing, thanks to its dynamic weather system. You might be standing on the top of a cliff and see a big storm forming on the horizon, but you could also be crossing a bridge as clouds cover the sun and rain starts to drop unexpectedly. You could be sneaking around a Mongol war camp on a misty night, but moments later end up watching a beautiful sunrise on the ocean shore with your horse. Exploring the world of Ghost of Tsushima is a core part of our gameplay, and we treat the environment like a living character, one that is breathing, moving, has her own personality, and is charming and plentiful. There are so many stories the world wants to tell you and surprises to discover. Anyway, on a final note, I'm hearing great things about the game, especially the side content and the exploration from a lot of people that are reviewing the game as we speak or have done so the past week. Of course, a lot of them agree on the fact that the side quests are really high quality, well, pretty much Witcher 3 and above quality. Even, for example, the footage we saw in 2017 that basically showed an entire mission that wasn't a main mission or anything. It was confirmed a long time ago that it was actually just a side quest that you're able to pick off randomly in the wild and just do it. And there's like so much detail to it, so many narrative points, and again, just the level of quality that we saw in Witcher 3. So I am glad that they are going in this kind of direction with it. I really hope that this game is going to turn out to be the game of the year of 2020. It's maybe going to be a tight chase because we also have The Last of Us Part 2 and like a huge backing behind it, but I think that it's time for a Sucker Punch GOTY, and this is already my personal game of the year anyway. But otherwise, this is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to Ghost of Tsushima, and what's one of the first things that you'll be doing? In the meantime, make sure you follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with everything Ghost of Tsushima and more related, and also subscribe to this channel as I'm going to be posting way more Ghost of Tsushima content once the game comes out and the embargo lifts. But I will see you guys next time, and peace.